Hey friends, it's Kathleen McNamara here. I'm going to walk you through using the new online version of Clinical Foundations and just show you some of the features of the rooms here. So you can see over here on the right hand side all these little, we call them layouts. So you will be switching just by clicking them, switching through the layouts as you go through the training. And you can see the first layout says timer, so you'll use that for breaks. And if you click it, it will bring you to this screen, and down here you can set the timer for however many minutes you want, and then they'll know when they should come back. So that's the first screen. But the second screen, the welcome screen, is what it should be set to when they enter the room at the beginning of the training on day one. So here we've got a little welcome message that says that we have sent them the participant packet in an email the week before. I found that it's the easiest to do that. If you want to get it to them another way, you can do that, but they need that, obviously, that participant packet. So if they don't have it, it instructs them to say in the chat box, and you can email it to them then. I've put the slides up here for each day. I see they're not in order, but they're labeled. And so if they just click on which slides they want and click on download file, it will download it onto their computer, and they can do that with all 4 of them if they would like. And you've got, the attendees pod, the chat pod, everything here to make sure that their, audio's working and all that kind of stuff. So they can come into the room here. You can have your webcam on so that they can see you, but I wouldn't have all of their webcams on yet. After you've welcomed them and everybody's in the room, then switch over here on the right to the setting up layout. So this will bring you here, and we have the slides here still, so if they haven't already downloaded them, or if they come in late, they can still grab them. But here what we want them to do is set their system so that their webcam will work the best that it can. And this pod always gets weird in terms of the size, so I would just make it a bigger size so that everybody can see it well. But here what we want them to do, and you all should do this as well, is right click anywhere on your screen, right click, and down here it'll say settings, so choose that, and then you'll get this box, and what you want to do is have it on this file thing and drag this bar all the way to the right hand side until the word says unlimited over here, and then close it. And that'll give you the capacity to, have the webcam work well. I can't explain it. I'm not an IT person, but that's what they told me. And it does work. It does help. So once everybody's done that, then you'll go to the third layout, which is intros. And here we want them to test their webcams. So there's a big webcam thing here. Everybody turn on your webcams, make sure it works. And then here I've written instructions for them to write in the chat box their name, their home office, city and state, and what service they provide. MyPack, Intercept, LifeSet, whatever. Just so you can get a sense of who's in the room if you're doing a training with folks from all over. So that's that. And then you go to day one. So if you're doing day one, if you're doing day 2, scroll down and you'll see day 2 here. So all the slides have their own layout for the days, and day 3 is down here and day 4 is down here. So this is our first week, and our second week, of course, we'll have days 5 through 8. So let's go to day 1, and it takes a second for the slides to load. But I set it up so that the trainer can be on webcam, or both trainers can be on webcam if you want, and then have the slides there to show folks. So as you go through the slides, then there's some other features that I want to show you, And actually in day one, we have everybody practice all the features in the room. So the first slide is going to ask them to raise their hand, right? So they can practice doing that and know where that is. Do thumbs up or thumbs down, so they can practice that. And then write in the chat box so they can practice that. So, just orienting them to the room basically. And then we want them to answer a poll. So this is a feature that you might not be as familiar with. So up here in pods, click pods, scroll down to poll, and you have to have a steady hand because if you don't stay on it, it'll go away. But and then I have all these polls in here. So they're actually for week 1, we only have polls for day 1 and day 2. Day 3 and day 4 don't have any polls. But I've labeled them 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So there's 3 polls for day 1. And so you should be able to easily find them. And then it also says, what the question is. So you can find them that way as well. So if I click on this first poll, this is the poll that I want to give them. It'll bring the poll up on the screen. If it's not big enough, I can grab it, right, and make it bigger, whatever. Make sure that this button says end poll, because that means the poll is opened. If I end it, see, it'll say reopen. So you have to make sure the poll is opened, and this will indicate this poll is closed. So I'm going to reopen it and have them choose what they like, what's their favorite food. And then when I decide that they've all voted, I'll say broadcast results. So they won't see what everybody else is voting, so they won't be influenced by everybody else's answers until you say broadcast results. And then you won't be able to see that, but you'll see the percentages of and how many people voted for each thing here. So that'll broadcast it to them, and then you can end the poll. Okay? And then when you're done with this, and I'm just going to set this back so that the room is ready for the next person, but then I can hide the poll. Just click hide and it'll go away. All right, so there's the poll feature. There's as I said, there's a few polls in there for each of the days. The next feature is the breakout rooms, and so hopefully you're familiar with using breakout rooms in Adobe. If you're not, I'm going to do a quick orientation here. So the way that you will control the breakout rooms is hitting this middle button here in the attendees pod that looks like a little X with squares on it, and it will switch you over into the breakout mode. So you'll see all the breakout rooms, there's 15 of them set up here, and then you'll see all your people. Like I'm the only one in this room right now, but everybody that's in the room will be listed here, and you can put them into breakout rooms, or you can randomly assign them to breakout rooms. So these breakout rooms are all set up the same. So let's look at one. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag myself into breakout room 1. So you can do that with anybody, or you can highlight them like this and use this menu to put them into another breakout room. So I'm putting myself into breakout room 2 now. And then, we can't see the breakout layout. I'm still in the main room until I do the start breakout button. So I push the start breakout button and it pops me into the breakout room I'm assigned to, along with other people, staff that are assigned to the breakout room with me. So here's how I set up the breakout rooms. You can just make this go away. I put the slide set in here for the breakouts. And then they've got webcam, and they're instructed to turn on their microphone up here so that it turns green, turn on their webcam, and then click the right arrow, and it will send them to the breakout slides. Okay? And what you want to say is the first person, the person on the top of the list in your breakout room, is in charge of the slides. And so every time you go into your breakout groups, the first person on the list should click that right arrow and go to the next slide. And all the breakout room slides are in here for all the activities that we do. Okay, so that they'll just click, 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 and they'll get to the slide that they're supposed to be working on so that they can have it in front of them. All right, and then there's the instructions for them. they can call to you from a breakout room, but through the chat box. So they can do this drop down thing and say, start chat with the hosts and call and say, we're having trouble in breakout room 2. And then you can drag yourself and drop yourself into breakout room 2 and you can be there with them. And then you can drag yourself back out of the breakout room. So I'm going to drag myself back up, put myself in the main meeting. Whoops, it didn't work. I'm going to try it this way. So I'm back in the main meeting, but the breakouts are still active. So if I want to say to folks, hey, you have a minute left in the breakout room, I can go up here and click on this little, again, the breakout room icon with the little X with the boxes and say broadcast message, okay? And then I can type the message in here, 1 more minute, and send it, and it'll go to all the breakout rooms. So now they all got that message and they know 1 more minute. And then when 1 more minute is done, I can end the breakouts. I can either click here to end the breakouts or down here to end the breakouts, because a lot of times I just want that to go away. So I'll click here to end the breakouts. And then everybody will come back into the main room and you'll see them all. Their names will, actually no, they'll stay in the breakouts in this format here. So if you want to send them back into the same rooms, they're already shuffled into those rooms. Here's another trick. If you want to shuffle them randomly into rooms, evenly distribute from main, you can press this button here and it will randomly shuffle them into rooms. They will shuffle into all the breakout rooms that you have. And so if you want them in pairs and you have less than 30 people, 15 breakout rooms is going to be too many. So some people are going to end up alone in a breakout room, which would be really sad. So if you know that during day 1, you always want people working in groups of 5, and you have 20 people in your training, then you know you will only ever need 4 breakout rooms for your day, okay? And if that's true, you can remove breakout rooms. If you later in day 1, if you want people in pairs, then you're going to need for 20 people 10 breakout rooms. So you don't want to erase, down to 4 breakout rooms, because you can't get them back. You can't get them back. So just erase how many you know that you're not going to need. And then if you need groups of 5 and you have 10 breakout rooms, you can manually shuffle them in. And it's real easy. If you just click, and then you can actually shift and click right down 4 people or something, then you can grab that whole set of 4 and drag it to a breakout room. So I think that's it for breakouts. So now I want to go back to my attendee view, and then it just goes back and gives me the whole list of people that's in the training, not sorted into the breakout rooms. Okay, so that's breakouts. And then, so this little icon tells them what page to turn on in their packet. And that little icon will be on every slide where they need to reference the packet or work in the packet, with the page number on it that they need to go to. So they need to have that open at all times. Okay, and then we're starting the training here. Looking in the evaluation portal and asking them if they've registered, and then here's the page they're supposed to be on, and then we start the training. Okay, so when you get to a place where you need to share a video, all your videos are over here in the layouts. So under the day that you're doing, if you're in day 1, all your day 1 videos until you see day 2 there, all these things, 5 things, are videos for day 1. And so all you have to do to play a video is click the layout. So here the first video is Stuart Ablon telling us about collaborative problem solving. So it'll be black like this because you haven't started the video, but just come down here, press the play button, and it starts it. and plays it for you. I don't know why there's not. Oh, because I have my earbuds in. There you go. So it actually does have sound, and it'll, when everybody's on the same audio source, it will go into their earbuds or whatever they're using. And you know, you can turn it up for yourself, but they can turn it up for themselves too. Okay, so when you want to stop the video, obviously you press stop. I'm going to drag it back to the beginning so that it's set for the next person. But all of these videos then are for day one. So when that's done, I'm going to go back to my day one slides. It's going to take a second to reload. I'm going to have to turn my webcam on again because the video layout doesn't have a webcam. So if you don't have a webcam in the layout, it kicks you off your webcam. So turn it on again, no big deal. All right, so that's how to play videos. If the video doesn't work, there's a backup. So sometimes if the video is really long and it has to, what do they call that, buffer, it won't work well. So if you run into that, I put the videos in the pods as well. So they're in web links. You see, day one videos, day two videos. So each day, all the videos, I think there might have been one video that I couldn't link here, but everything else is in here. So here's the day one videos, and there's 5 of them, and they should be in order, but they're labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and all you have to do to launch this is click on it so it turns blue, and see it'll pop down the link here, and then click the Browse To button. When you click the Browse To button, it will force everybody's computer to open the video in YouTube or wherever it is. Most of them are in YouTube. So you can control that for everybody. I think they can click the Browse To button themselves as well, but I think it's preferable if you click it and then everybody has the video going at the same time and ending at the same time so that you know when to come back to the slides, right? So I'm going to click the Browse To button just to show you because it forces my computer to do it too. Goes to YouTube. Takes a minute because that's how technology works, but it should open that video. Seriously. Okay, good. Yeah, it's taking longer than usual. So at this point then they control it.
Okay? I know the last time we talked you said something about going back.
So we're skipping the ads. At this point they can control it. So they can make it full screen if they want to, right? So they can watch it. And they can turn down the audio a little. But when you've decided, and actually this video, I think you're not playing the whole thing. So you're going to have to call them back. And I think if you just click this, right, you'll go back to the room. They all need to be muted when the video is playing so that the audio doesn't get all screwed up with their audio too. But if you turn on yours, then you can talk to them and tell them, okay, that's it, come back. I'll try to actually, it'd be better if I cut this video for you, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. Okay, so, and then we're going back to the main room. So really it's more convenient to play the videos from the layouts over here on the right, but if you have to, you can play them from over here. Any pod that you open, you just click that, click hide, and it goes away. So that's how you play the videos. Let's see what else is in the pods here. So the only file is the slides file that I had up in those first 2 rooms. The other web links that we have are at the end of each day. They'll take a quiz and they'll do an evaluation. So just like you used to do them at the end of all 4 days, now you're doing it at the end of all 8 days. And so, you know, research has split them in half or whatever. Anyway, they work now. And so they're all in here. So on the end of day 1, I'm going to go to quiz links and I'm going to have them take the day 1 quiz by highlighting it and clicking Browse To, and then it opens the quiz on their computer and they can take it. All right. There's not a quiz for day 3. That's why it's missing here. And then after they take the quiz, you're going to go back here, you're going to open the evaluation links and have them do the evaluation for day 1 or whatever day you're on. Okay? So there's those. Files, web links, polls. I think I've showed you everything that we put in there. The only thing at the very bottom of this, there's one that says do not use. And that's that controls the breakout room layouts, so just don't mess with that, just leave it. But everything else should be fine. I have the sessions set up so that each day has a session assigned to it. So whatever you do in this room that you have, the session room, stays in this room. Okay? What you do in the room stays in the room. And so you don't have to worry about day 2. If you're doing day 1, you don't have to worry about like day 2. If you take some breakout rooms out, it's not going to affect day 2. If you start the video and don't put it back to the beginning, doesn't matter. If the chat box is full, it doesn't matter. It won't affect day 2, it won't affect the other days. Every session is unique. And so what I did is created a template room that it's the template, and then every session is like a baby from the template. And it doesn't affect the template anymore what you do in the baby room. Sometimes what I do in the template room will affect the baby rooms, but once they're set up, they should be independent. Just like children, right? Okay. So I think that is it. You can do this show sidebar here for the slides if you want to see what slide you're on, if you want to see the notes and you have really good glasses because that's super small writing, or if you want to search for something in the slides. So I'm just going to set this back up to slide 1 and do that. And I think that's it. So if anybody has questions, you can always contact me, Kathleen McNamara, or contact your Clinical Services Program Manager, and they can answer your questions about this. When you're done with the meeting, go up to meeting, say end meeting. I put this friendly little message, but you can change it if you want. If you have a URL, if you have something you want people to see, you can put it here, and then press OK, and the meeting's over. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.